Well, hello, my friends. Um, just a little. I just love the sound. The sound of machining. It kind of disturbs me sometimes when people mute the sound during the machining. One person who does it a lot. Oh, the old hippie living up in California. Heck's his name. Yeah. Well, I've gone off somewhere I wasn't meaning to go, but yeah, I do appreciate the sound of the tooling and the machining and the cutting, and I've lost my mind. A little update. Last time we spoke, I had taken my lathe quite extensively, gone into the removal of the end of the tailstock. And I got a little freaked out, wondering if I could put it back together, and I was just doing too much at once. I'm trying to get to the apron, trying to get to the feed gear. I have become quite familiar with everything back there now, and I can show you in a moment. Very straightforward and plainly what the problem is, probably for the first time. As of everything's been tied up back together for a few days, and as of just a few minutes ago, I found the last screw that I was missing, holding the electrical box to the gearbox, the switch box. So I've also done some more investigating into the clutch for the crossfeed travel, and I've got eyes on it now. It's really easy to see the lateral travel, the carriage travel. Now, the light's not the greatest, but we're going to look at, see, it's probably a lot better than what I'm seeing. Okay, so the gear closest to the bottom of the screen, and there's a shiny ring in front of it. I'm going to engage the clutch. It's pulling that shiny ring in, and that is tightening up on that gear. There's the clutch coming out. There's the clutch engaged. And how I'm doing that is by spinning this knob. So this one, I gotta move this. Can I move this without? I've done some dumpster. I'll tell you what, let's do dumpster diving real quick. I did some dumpster diving tonight at one of my favorite tool shops. And I have here a boring bar. I'll have to roll it out and see if it's straight. The 686.5 boring bar. There's another boring bar looking more like 3/4. Yeah, it's 3/4. And 4 of these countersink, I forget what they call them. Counter bore. You know what it is. Big ass. There's about an 8-inch drill bit. There's one that's been ground down to do a flat bottom. And here's a homemade extension drill. I'll roll that and see if that's flat also. Also found this brazed carbide lathe tool. There was some more stuff in there. The dumpster, that is. It was really cold. I didn't have my coat on. A little piece of D2. I'm gonna guess that's probably D2 as well. I can't tell you that though. It looks the same from here. Okay, so let's move this board out of the way. We can get that out of the way. That story's told. Okay. Now, I just showed you the clutch down here. Let's get the flashlight on that. And let me show you again. So there is, you see the cone going away from, I guess, towards the top of the screen, but that's inconsequential. This is a, what do you call that gear? That's kind of concave. That's the gear that runs the carriage travel. Now I tighten the clutch. Watch the strong cone get sucked in. There it is out. There it is in. Feed is engaged. Feed is disengaged. I think you can see that. Now, with this one, it's not so easy to see, because you got all this in the way. But if you look down in this crack right here, this 1/4 inch crack, I can see basically this. Okay. I've been in there, coming in through this direction. There's the concave gear, worm gear maybe. The drive of a worm gear, the drive gear portion of a worm gear. That gear, only it's down in there. So I've sprayed WD-40 down in there, and the only access to it is this crack. And let's just say I've been working on it. The idea is you need to hold this, stabilize this, and try to actuate that clutch. So that's really not here nor there. Now for a really good look at what the problem is. Okay, what the problem is, when I'm threading, one method of my threading is, okay, this is my feed direction lever. So I have the gearbox is on feed. Everything, the compound is on 29.5 degrees. And everything is set there. The machine is running. And I engage forward feed. And it starts moving. I get to the end of my thread, I pull this up into neutral, retract the tool, go into reverse, the carriage reverses, I stop it, I re-engage my tool, add the new cut, and shift into forward. End of the thread, neutral, withdraw the tool, reverse. Start over again. So that's one method. The other method is get the gearbox on screw and watch the threading dial and engage the half nut. Stop, bring it back, do all your adjusting, wait for your number, engage the half nut. Okay, that's another method of threading. All right, so if I put this in forward and there's too much torque, I'm skipping, clickety-clack, a lot of ugly noises. I can do most of my threads without any problem, but it's not correct. And you can engage this feed lever. Do not engage clutch or reverse clutch lever with the spindle running above 322 RPM. Above this speed, engage the clutch lever before starting the spindle. So it is kosher to do all that gear changing, or that direction changing, if you are traveling under 322 RPMs. Okay, so there's a gear back here for forward, and there's one for reverse. And I don't have a pointer. And that is another thing. I'm missing a screwdriver. And it's typically one that I've used as a pointer. So we're looking at this right here. And then across from that, this right here. You can't see it because I'm covering it up with a screwdriver. But this gear slides over to the left and then engages with this flat surface. And you can see, I hope, the wear on that little nubbin, that protrusion from that gear. I can never tell on my little screen what you're seeing. But if there's too much torque, you can see where it would just slide right off there. And if someone's a really good welder, they could reach down there and just build that up a little bit, that nub. We could bring it around to this side. There's a lot more clearance, so that's a silly idea. So therein lies the problem. One of the problems. The machine operates fine without it. I could go on the rest of my life, probably do any project in my wheelhouse, and even my future wheelhouse, without messing around with that and correcting that. But I would like to see both those things corrected. And I'd like to do it myself. And one other thing I need that I need to address, and it's probably super simple, and that is my back gear lever. This piece of metal here, this is the cover of my gearbox, okay? Now this is a shifter which shifts this gear in and out of back gear and direct drive. So this is direct drive, and then this is back gear. Direct, back gear. So problem is the detent, whatever holds this thing in place, isn't holding it in place. So it looks like all I need to do is pull this out and correct whatever needs correcting here. I imagine there's a spring in there and a pin. I may just have to push this little indentation, this little protrusion, push it in, pull that straight out, and maybe I can see what needs to be done to repair that. But when I got the lathe, it had this attached to it, where the original handle could be tucked up behind this and not slip into the back gear. Also, the original handle needs to be brazed, because when I pulled the pin, when I drove it back in, I was a little overzealous and busted the cast iron. It's a handle that looks, much like this. Would love to have it back. And Doozer has volunteered to do that. Baby, please get down. Doozer from Doozer's shop has offered to do that brazing job for me. It's just a matter of me getting this thing off to him. He's probably sent me his address and I probably lost it. There's 3 pieces. I'll just bring out the major 2. And it would be a rebraze. It may not even be possible to fix it. You know, it's like this. Yeah, that looks much better. And I have the chunk that goes here. And yeah, I'd love to have that back on the machine. And if someone brazed that up for me, I would do a much better job of dressing that down. Maybe you should leave it there for strength. There we go. You know what? Yeah, I need to let someone who knows what the heck they're doing take care of that for me. So I got the little chunk that's missing and the tapered pin. I'll put some tape around that so somebody they'll figure it out. Well, I guess that's about it. It's Thursday night. It's the middle of January. Haven't really had a winter around here. Tonight I'll probably clean up the... I'm not going to be able to install the apron because I don't have any sealant to put around to seal this gap here. You can see my old... I need to get all this scraped off. I was a little heavy with it, but you know what? It didn't leak. So, yeah, I need to get that all scraped off, cleaned up, and get some new product. I've heard people using shellac. Let's see, shellac and what's the other one? They're almost cousins. One's like a natural product and one's petroleum. Whatever. That needs to be sealed. Otherwise, this, in my case, transmission fluid would be flowing all down the front of this face. You know, I may not use transmission fluid that time. I was going for the most viscous oil. Please get down. Hoping to break loose the clutch on the cross travel. So, in behalf of myself and 2 Chihuahuas, they're camping out. Good day. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. Check out my playlists. I created a couple playlists. Yeah, so check that out if you get some time on your hands. Alright guys, thanks for all your comments and all your support.